Welcome back again. We're going to continue learning Adobe Illustrator. We already seen that the pen tool is going to be capable to create lines, but if you want to keep it like a line, you have to deselect it. So if you are going to use the pen tool, it's because we're going to create a closed object. How do I know it's a closed object? Well, every time you go to this starting point and you find out that you have this circle close to the pen tool, it means that you are closing the object. So you're going to be capable to apply fill color, textures, or whatever is available as a gradient, for example. Now, you can do something using straight lines, or of course, if you click and hold the pen tool, like right now I'm doing, you're going to be capable to have something that is curved. And as you can see, again, the circle is going to appear. Now, we have seen at the same time, this is just like a small summary, okay? That you can have different textures, and you can play with the weight of the line, and of course, that you can play, for example, with some brush styles that are already available. Remember, every time you see this type of 3 lines and 3 spots, it's because there's an extra option, and usually there's an open something extra as a library, okay? Now, what are we going to do today? We're going to learn how to use the figures. This one, just exactly this one. If you click and hold, as we have seen in the triangle, the white triangle in the corner, is because you have extra tools. So I'm going to use the rectangle tool. This is simple. You have used it in the past, probably in Paint and PowerPoint. If you click and press Shift, you're going to have a square. But if you don't press, you're going to have this. You're going to have a rectangle. As we just watched in the previous video, every time you see this small circle with the blue dot in the middle, it means that you're capable to transform it. If you select just one corner, I'm going to transform just one area. And for example, if I have this one, in this case, I'm not selecting just one. I'm just going to click in one of them. Both of them are going to be changed, okay? If you double click it, like I just did with my mouse, you're going to be capable to transform the corner from that curved inside or like this, okay? So be aware of what are your specific needs, the message that you want to set, and simplify your life. There is no need to be like suffering and trying to draw it. For example, I'm going to transform this one. Where is this? Maybe I'm going to do it for all of them. Let me press Shift so I can have, not just the ones at the top. Double click, and I'm going to use this. And I'm going to change the radio. So as you can see, radio is like the circle that you're creating. And the good thing, again, is that everything that you have right here can be edited. Right now, I just move the arm right here, or the handle, to transform it to wherever I want, okay? Now, if you click and hold, you're going to have the rounded rectangle tool. As you have seen, we have done it first here. So if you select this one, automatically you're going to have this. Now, we're going to open a window that is called Transform. Usually has this shape. In case you don't have it on the right side, go to the window top menu and then select the one that says Transform. Why this is important? I'm going to place it here so you can figure out. X and Y is telling you the position that you have in the artwork, you know, in the paper. W and H is telling you the size, you know, in this case it's in points, but if you want to change it, you already know that you can come here and change the rules, for example, in centimeters. And here they're going to tell you, well, the size of that rectangle is 5 by 4. This is going to tell you the angle. For example, right now it's in 0, but if I come closer to the corner and I rotate it, automatically it's going to tell me the degrees that I move it, okay? This is for skew. Skew is a distortion that you're going to have. It's not perspective, it's just like a distortion. Let me show how it works. I'm going to change this into -60. Here you have it. It seems like it's perspective, but it's not perspective, okay? It's just how do you distort a figure. And of course, right here you have some properties about the same number that you have here is this one. You can change by typing down. For example, maybe you don't want it by 5 and 4. You want it as 6 by 3. So you have to be aware that you don't have the lock right here, because if you have it locked, that means that if you change the upper quantity, the one that is below is going to change too. In this case, I'm going to do it 6 by 2. And here I have the size. Automatically, this is going to be placed here. As you can see, this is locked. This is for the angle, the same thing that I have right here. And this is for the corners. The corners are these ones. So if you want to change it, you can have all of this. Remember that if you have it locked, it's going to happen or to be applied in all the corners. Okay, you can scale the corners and the stroke. This is like keeping and maintaining like the same proportion. Okay, if you don't want to do that and you only want to change, for example, this area, you can select here too, as we have seen, like by double clicking the circle, you can change it here. And for example, I'm going to change it like this. So you can modify it in either way. I mean, you are going to be capable to select what works better for you. So we have 2 ways to transform. The figure is already closed, okay? I'm going to place it back here. Now, ellipse, the circle, if you press shift, you're going to have this beautiful circle. And if you don't press shift, you're going to have this, okay? So keep in mind, what do you want to share? I mean, if you're going to draw a wheel, maybe this is going to work, but maybe if you want to do a base, you know, that, and you're looking up of it, and I mean in the upper side, so maybe you're going to use this one. Now the other one that we have is the polygon. Pol in Spanish means a lot. Gon is angle, a lot of angles. Okay, many angles, muchos ángulos. So depending on the last use that you have to the software, is the one that is going to appear. I don't remember which one I have used. And if this is the first time, probably it's going to draw you a pentagon. Let me, sorry, I didn't select it. Ellipse, polygon. Is hexagon because it has 6, right? Now, if I want to have a pentagon, how can I do that? I just have to be sure that I have this tool selected and then click the white area and then release the mouse, okay? For example, hexagon, hexa, 6. If I want a pentagon, 5, automatically it's going to be drawn here. How about if I want to have an octagon, 8? Again, I'm going to select the tool and I'm going to place right here 8. Here you have it. So if you want to draw something that has a specific shape, like figure, here's how you do it. Now, we have the star. The star works the same way. It works like with 5 points, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And again, if you have the tool selected and you click the white area, just one click and release, you're going to be capable to select how many points do you want for the star. And if you want to have, you know, acute or not acute, let me tell you what is the difference between all of it. Here we have the star. I'm going to change here. I'm going to place 3. So you can have a star that is going to be thin in the points, or if you wanted to have it fat, you have to be playing with the numbers to get the result that you're looking for. Okay, so the last one is the flare tool. I have used it just twice, and because I was doing an illustration, a hyperrealistic illustration. Now, lens flare is like when you're taking a picture, you know, and the sun is just in front of you, and you have a small, I don't know, moth or dirt in your lens, and boom, something glows. So we have this, and the result is usually like this. It looks cool if you're going to apply it into an illustration that has gradients and volume. And the other thing that is cool is that, well, this is one result, but you can edit it as well. If you double click it in the toolbar, you can define how many rays, rings do you want with it, the halo, the direction. If you want it to be, let me change this and let me reduce this. I'm going to show you how we can have a different result. You see that it changed, for example, the radius of the circle. So if you want to make an eye that is glowing, or, well, if you're going to do an illustration, this is how you're going to use it. Now, there's this tool that I'm going to show you for the very first time. Now, if you want to imagine that you were not aware and you were drawing without, let me show you this. I'm going to change this one and there is no line with it. And you get lost and you say, but I just did it. Where is it? I can't find it. Well, there is a trick for you to know. Press Command Y, Comando Y, and here you have it. This command is going to help you to have a preview or outline, what is called outline of what you're doing. So why I'm showing this to you? Because I wanted you to figure out how the lens flare was made. And of course, in case you get lost, this is how you can find something that you already drawn. Now be careful since the beginning to define the color that you want for the stroke and the color that you want for the fill color. So fill color is going to be relleno. Stroke color is going to be color de la línea. Okay? Sorry about my Spanglish, but just in case you want to, in case my English is like Sofia Vergara, okay? Now, as this is a figure, you can change the weight of the line. For example, you can make it thinner, you can make it thicker. You can apply any of the textures that we've seen in the previous video. Let me place another one here, like this. Okay? So you can have this as a result. And of course, there are more options that we can do with lines. And this is what I want to do with you in the following artboard. I'm going to duplicate this. Remember that if you want to duplicate, if you have PC, select the objects, then press Alt. If you have a Mac, select the objects and press Option. And then drag, hold it, and place it in the page that you are going to work with. So, the stroke line that we have right here has more options than the one that are on the top, as I just mentioned before. Now, if you don't have this window open, remember, it's a window. So, window, and then look for stroke, okay? I'm going to draw a rectangle because there's something that I want you to, here it is. I'm going to make 3 so you can see the difference of what I want to explain about the stroke. So we have seen that we can change the weight, and this is good because you can define, for example, a message, what you want to send with a thin line, with a thicker line, and so on. Even though this one looks like, with a fill color, is not with fill. As you can see, it's a circle that it just has a huge a huge line. Let me change it because it's too huge. Let me place it like that. Okay, now I'm going to come here for this one, and there is something that is called corner. As we have seen, we can change the corner that we have right here, but I'm going to change the weight just so you can see the difference from this one to the one that I'm going to do right now. Take a look to both corners. If I use the one that I have on the stroke option, I'm capable to do this. Let me see if you can see it. Oh, it's not working, but let me see why it's not working. Let me see how I draw it. Maybe it's too thick. Let me see if I have to make it thinner or thicker. Let me see. It was a lapsus brutus. You see, don't worry. I'm happy that this happened because it could happen to you too. Sometimes the software just like take a deep breath and doesn't work, but it works. So the corner that you see here, take a look to this one and this one. You can change it. And just the corner of the line is the one that is going to change, not the shape. This continue being a rectangle, with no rounded corners. And you can have it like this too, okay? Now, it's more visible if you have a thick line. If it's thin, it's not really easy to figure it out. But if you have a thick line, it's going to look okay. Why is this important? Again, depending on the message they're going to send, is the result and the use of the tool that you're going to have, to apply to a specific project. Now, there's something that is called align stroke. Now, let me come and select this one. In case the software doesn't react, for example, when you want it to, don't panic. I mean, something happened, for example, in my case, and you have to take a look and continue, because life is like that. You have to continue working and trying to find a solution. Everything has a solution, okay? And in case it doesn't work, we have YouTube. Now, the align stroke means where you're going to put the position of the line. As you can see, it has changed to this area. The line is here and the stroke is outside. This one is in, considering the one that's outside, and this is right in the middle. So it depends on you and the design that you're doing, okay? Now, what is dash line? Dash line is when you have a line, a gap, line, gap. Here you're going to select, for example, the dash in this case has 12 points, and the gap, for example, I'm going to select 20. Is the distance, my apologies for my dog, the distance that you're going to have from this line to this line, okay? You can have different numbers like this, and this is the result. You can have something that is going to be really, really dynamic, like you can see here. Now, if you have a thin line, I'm going to do the same. The result is almost the same, but you can see that the difference that this one looks stronger and this one looks like weak, a little bit weak. Now, there is something that I haven't shown you, that is the cap. Cap is how the line is going to be defined, in the endings. For example, this one is a straight line, right? I can select it like this, like a curve, but it's not curved, it's just like the trace, how it's done. It's like when you're using a marker. I believe that you have used a pen, marker, and a pencil, right? The trace is different depending on the tool. Well, the same thing happens here. The projecting cap gives you an extra. This one makes it rounded, and this one makes it, straight. Where it starts, it ends. So let's do it with the one that has a thicker line. You see the result, it changed a lot. So be aware if you want to send a message, how you want the result at the end, okay? And the last but not the least, I'm going to create some figures. And here it goes. No, I didn't like that one. Okay, so as you have seen, they're just lines. They're not closed objects. I made them by using the pen tool. We have something that is called arrowheads. That means that you can define if you want to have a pointy end, and if you want to have an end, I don't know, like an arrow. So where can you select this? This is going to show you, for example, where it starts and where it ends. Let me see for an option. Okay. Now, sometimes the size, it seems to be like, it's huge, right? And it's like a proportion is not exactly like the best. So just below the arrowheads, you have something that it's called scale. That means that, for example, right now, I am going to select this one. I'm going to make it smaller. Let me just select this. And the result is going to change. So you don't have to be like accepting everything that the software gives you. You can still modify it according to your needs, as you can see here. For example, this one, maybe I don't like this one. I like this one better, but it doesn't match because it's like huge. I can change it here. Like that. And instead of having just that, I'm going to do this and I'm going to change the size. Or you can make it bigger. I mean, it's up to you. Now, one important thing. As you can see, they're not locked. That means that I can change the beginning and the ending to the percentage that I want. But if you want both to change at the same time, you have to keep it locked, okay? And this is for keeping the alignment, according to the trace. If you want the ending and the starting point to be aligned to the line, to the stroke that you just made. And we have already seen what is profile, because profile is at the top menu too. Remember that we've seen it in the previous video. So this is how stroke and figures work. If you have any question or doubt, let me know, and have a wonderful day. See you in the following video. Bye.